Hey guys, you're watching Dansky, the place to be to develop your creative skills, and in this tutorial we're going to learn how to create a trendy type effect all in Adobe Illustrator. It's really cool, I think so. You might disagree, lots of lines and things, but anyway, we're going to jump into Illustrator and I'll show you what on earth I'm talking about. So to the screen. Okay, so you can see I'm now in Illustrator. I have a new artboard, 1920 by 1080. And here's an example of what we're going to be creating. I'll show you this to compensate for that terrible description a moment ago. So lots of lines, technically as promised, very, very similar to what was described. So this is what we're going to be creating. And while I'm here, I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool and I'm just going to sample this lovely reddy pink color. Love this color. And from the bottom of the swatches panel, click on the new swatch icon, leave global checked and click OK. Now, if you don't see the swatches panel here or the stroke panel, then just go up to window, down to stroke or swatches. These are two panels we'll be using quite a lot in this tutorial. And if you're on an older version of Illustrator, then you've got all of the different panels here. If you're on the latest version, then you of course have the contextual properties panel that will change depending on what you've got selected over here. But either way, whichever version of Illustrator you're on, you'll be able to follow along with this tutorial. Okay, let's zoom out. First of all, I'm going to grab the type tool from the toolbar on the left and just click and type some text. Of course, I'm as creative as ever with my words. I'm just going to type. I'm sure you can come up with a much better word. You pick your word, pick your font, do any of your font properties. So this font is Bebas Kai. And just adjust anything like your leading if you've got multiple lines, your tracking if you want to increase or decrease the space between the different letters. Essentially make sure you're happy with this. And if you do want to zoom out and just hold Alt and drag a copy up here like an editable version, so you've got that as a backup, that's always a good idea as well, because this version here that we're going to go ahead with won't be editable after this next step. So let's select our text, go to type, down to create outlines. Boom. So this is now not text anymore. It is, but Illustrator just sees this as 4 individual shapes, which is a shame. We can't edit the text, but there's some other stuff that we can do now that we couldn't have done before. So it's a good thing. So what we're going to do next is just go over here on the left and select the line tool, left click to draw a line. As you'd expect, and we could hold down Shift on the keyboard and it will snap that to either a 90-degree or a 45-degree angle. So just make sure your line is tall enough that it clears the height of your text. And then what I'm going to do is go to the color picker for the stroke and we'll just pick a color. We'll go with blue for now. It doesn't matter what color you pick. You can change that in a moment. And then either from the stroke panel or the property inspector, depending on the version of Illustrator you're on, just increase that stroke. So I'll go for 6 points. We'll start with 6 and see how we go. And what I'm going to do is hold down Alt and click and drag to create a copy. Now, I can create this copy, but I can also hold down Shift as well as Alt, and it will keep that in line. So something like this. And then without pressing anything else, press Command or Control D. That's D for donkey. Command or Control, depending on if you're on a Mac or a PC, and it will repeat that last copy action we just did. And you want to keep repeating this, and you can hold this down as well. Just repeat it long enough that it clears the width of your text, so that your text fits inside it, which it clearly does. I think I went a bit too overboard there. And what we can do now is we can select all of these lines. We could go and adjust the width further. Just make sure you're happy with the width and all the spacing and everything. When you are happy, just go to Object, Expand, leave Fill and Stroke checked and click OK. So we can't edit the stroke width anymore, but there's some other stuff we can do now. So at the moment we have lots of different lines. These lines don't touch each other. They are all individual shapes. We need Illustrator to treat all of these different lines, however many there are. I'm not going to count them. We need Illustrator to treat all of these lines as one single shape. And we can do that with a compound path. So again, just drag over to make sure everything is selected. Go to Object, Compound Path, and select make. Now, if you skip this step and you don't make this a compound path, Illustrator will pick one of those lines and it will use that one line rather than everything as a single shape. So let's click make. And nothing seems to have changed, but trust me, it has. So we can now select type, go to edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And I'm going to hold down shift and use the left arrow key on the keyboard. And I'm just nudging this out, keeping the left arrow key held. And then what I'm going to do is select over the lines and the text, go to object, compound, no I'm not, clipping mask and select make. So I want to clip the blue lines inside the black text. Click make and you can see it disappears. So this is an example of what's going to happen if you don't do your compound paths correctly. Stuff like this happens, it disappears, and then you've got to figure out what's gone wrong. So let's go to edit undo. So see if you can guess what went wrong here. So a minute ago, we made all of those blue lines that are individual shapes that don't touch each other one single compound path. However, we have another example of that here. We have 4 black letters that, remember, these aren't letters anymore. They're just 4 separate shapes. We need to make those compound paths as well. So we can select the text, go object, down to compound path and select make. Sometimes it does this and disappears. That's fine. The path is still there and you can actually double click on the fill at the bottom of the toolbar and just give it a color. I don't know why it disappears sometimes. It doesn't always happen, but just give it another color again. And now we've got 2 compound paths. The blue lines, the red text. We can drag over both of these, making sure that the text is on top. Go to object, clipping mask, select make, and now our lines are clipped to that lettering. And we can select this. We can double click to go inside it, and then we can select our text, and we've still got the color here. In fact, we can go to the swatches panel and we could pick a different color. So let's go for this super bright neon green. Make sure you check the global box, click OK. And then we can come out of isolation mode here using the back arrow at the top. And then what I can do is I can select this text and we can make this a lovely bright green as well. And then actually what I'm going to do is select the text here, go to edit, copy, edit, paste in place. And again, hold the shift key and the left arrow key. And we're just going to nudge this out. Boom, there we go. And I'm just going to swap the fill and the stroke. And this is what we're going to use to create the border. So let's go and edit that stroke again. Just dicking this up. In fact, you could go for the same width, so 6 point, which is the same width as the lines. You could make it thinner, thicker, it's entirely up to you depending on the style you're going for. And if you're totally happy with your stroke, you could select that and go to Object, Expand. There we go, something like this. And we can drag over both of these now, the lines and the stroke. Go to Object, group them together. And now we can hold down Shift on the keyboard again, but use the right arrow key. Now the reason I like to do this is because you can create a copy of something. You can then hold down Shift, you can nudge it out, do what you need to do to it, then hold Shift, nudge it back in. You know it's going to go back in the exact same position that it started in. Whereas if you just drag with the mouse, you might kind of get it slightly off. So it's just all about precision for me. And the last thing we're going to do is select the text here. If I just move this, you can see it's selected that one. In fact, yep, that's still grouped together. So I'm going to select this text and use the arrow keys and holding Shift, go down and to the right. So I'm just offsetting that. And you can offset this as much as you like. Just hold Shift and use the arrow keys. Adjust that offset until you're happy. I think I might go for something like this. Looks pretty cool. And remember that global swatch that we created earlier, that little checkbox? Well, what we can do now is we can just double click this global swatch, check preview, and it instantly updates every instance. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. But it doesn't update this one because I think if I just double click to go inside and double click to go inside again. Yeah, so that text was made green before it was a global swatch. So if we go and make that the global swatch now, so all of these shapes that we've created, these lines, they're using the global version. So if you do it first before making it global, then it won't update. But now they're all using this same one. We can just check preview. Everything updates like so, which is amazing. So we'll just click OK. And lastly, what we can do is just grab the rectangle tool and just drag over here and make sure the fill color is selected at the bottom. We're going to pick that awesome ready paint color, go to Object, Arrange, send it to the back. We're going to go to Object, Lock the selection. We can then load up that crazy green swatch, check preview, drag it all the way to the right. Everything will instantly adjust in one go to white. And then we could drag over all of the lettering and just go to Object and Group. And now that is in a group that we can move around together. And there we go. That's how to create a trendy type effect, all in Adobe Illustrator. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you've got any questions or comments, you know what to do. Drop those down below. But as always, like this video if you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll see you next time.